Everybody, Trent Nyhus, Farmers Insurance,
Tadd Peterson, lakeplace.com, Brothers Realty.
Shoptalk with TNT this week. We are actually in Brothers Realty in the Turtle Lake office. Today, me and Tadd are just going to kind of do a review of everything that we've done so far, what we've learned, what we've seen, how we've screwed up, all the good stuff in the life right now. We're looking at kind of our review. It's that time of year where I think all businesses are kind of looking at different things that they have done, what they haven't done, things that they want to do, and we've met with the hotel bar, JLR photography. Them were our first two videos, or technically first three. Our first video was just me and you goofing around in my office for 4 minutes. So our first two videos, when we met with Jen, we didn't even really have our direction of what we wanted to do. We were still kind of just talking about our businesses and not really looking at the outer piece of talking about somebody else's business. So Jen, we're sorry we didn't get to interview you. We're gonna come back to you and let you kind of tell us your story too.
Yeah, we more or less went there because she said you need to do better and have a better backdrop.
Yeah,
so, that's kind of how we ended up there. And Jen at the hotel, that was. Well, we might have gave her a minute's notice before we decided, hey, let's throw Jen on screen too. Let her talk about the hotel. So yeah, that was a course correction that I didn't know we were gonna do, and it's turned out to be tons of fun actually. I mean, going into talking to both the Jens, and then going into Lampert's and learning, and you learn things too. I mean, and you see how passionate people are about their business and what they represent and what they want to provide for the people, and Lampert's wasn't so much a history story, but Infinity and Sunshine, that was businesses that those people they started. So it was cool to learn their story. I mean, they were all neat, and yeah, we kind of felt bad for the first couple that we did because we didn't realize we were going in that direction.
And I think it's, in my opinion, like one of the coolest things that we see is like how excited and how proud of each and every business owner of their brand.
Yeah.
And you talk to Lampert's of how they're so proud of competing against the big box stores, and they're not a big box store. So competing in that way. Talking to Kevin and Wendy about just kind of their humble start in a garage.
Yeah.
Same with Sunshine, starting out in a bakery, going to 7 locations. Like it's really cool, and feel their passion is just, I don't know. It makes my week go by a lot quicker knowing that we're gonna do this with a business owner, and we get to kind of hear their story, because at the end of the day, every business's story starts out differently. I think everybody goes through a struggle at some point in time, or self-doubt at some point in time, but at the end of the day, they actually get pretty excited about what's going on. So
well, and I, like you, Trent, we both work under somebody, but we're small business owners. So to hear, and I've talked to Jen at the hotel for a long time. She works very hard on her small business. Jen Raditz, same thing. To like the Infinity and the Sunshine one, not only to hear, I didn't know if Kevin and Wendy just said, hey, I want to make, widgets, and I think I can make money at it. Well, it wasn't so much that. It was, I think I can do what I was doing before, but I think I can do it better if I do it this way. So I'm going to break away from the pack, and I'm going to start my own, and focus on, it was interesting to hear the why, like Sunshine. I just thought she liked fitness. Why not open a fitness store? Well, it wasn't that. It was, I want to give people, the camaraderie that they get when they go to the coffee shop or to the tavern. I want to give that to them in a healthy way. I didn't know all that stuff, and it was interesting to learn not only what they were doing, but why they were doing it. Very good intentions, and they're able to make money doing it. So that's To me, that's what small business is all about. I mean, I'm sure you're the same way. I mean, you're selling insurance for a particular reason. You know, you want to provide. It's hard to sell something you don't believe in.
Yeah.
Right. You know, I mean, if you didn't believe in what farmers' products are, it's tough to go out there and sell them.
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Absolutely. That's I always put, like, we had to do a mission statement obviously right away when applying to become a farmer's agent. And I remember I was talking to our district manager, I was talking to our area sales leader, talking to all them people, and they asked me, like, what, and I just told them straight up, I want to be a different insurance agent. And they asked me to, like, kind of explain what that meant. And it, like, for me, it's just doing something that nobody else does. And maybe people used to do it, but they don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, I pride myself on going out and seeing my clients. Yeah. I pride myself on every month sending out birthday cards to my clients. Like, I pride myself on a lot of them different aspects of it. Like, the first time I gave somebody my cell phone number and said, hey, you can text me, call me any time of the day. Just make sure you put your name in there so I know who I'm responding to. Which has kind of gotten out of control.
Exactly.
But
that was what I was going to say next. Yeah.
But it was just like how they were excited that personal touch is.
Yeah.
That I think being a small business owner, I think a lot of people, when they start growing, they lose that small touch because, and I think it's rooted from being a small town person, a small town kid that grew up in a town of 500 to 1,000 people. Like, you get used to, hey, this is the way that things have always been and blah, blah, blah and all that. But you kind of grow out of that space of it, but you grow into the space of, like, hey, I still want to do all the small town stuff. Like, I want to go support the basketball team. I want to go support the wrestling team. If there's a trap fundraiser, like, trying to do all the things in the small town, that's what builds our business better. And that's where being a small business owner is kind of cool. And I think that's being the different insurance agent versus being just a normal Joe Schmo.
And anybody who feels that way, like, especially about me, it's something you have to, the longer you do it, like for me, the longer I do it, the more houses that I sell to people that they move into or people that are moving out, I sell for them. Mm-hmm. You build that relationship, that you have that personal touch, and then, everybody goes away. Like for me, I always tell them, hey, after the closing table, if you need something, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're done here. I'm here for you, and it's sometimes daily. Sometimes you're trying to stay in touch with everybody, and the more customers, the more clients you end up working with, the harder that gets because that number grows.
Yep.
So how like I said, it's hard. You can. And I just tried to do this here, and I already regret it. To hire someone to help me to do that, but now I'm not doing it myself. It's my beliefs, my goals, kind of my wisdom behind it, which there's a whole lot of that. So, but it's not me doing it. So, but at the same time, I want people to know that I do think of them. It's just so hard to. I mean, you could spend 6 hours a day doing it. And it's hard. And like you said, go to a basketball game, go to a wrestling match, go to the football games, go to the, I don't do this stuff enough either, go to the national night out, and, there's events that go on all over the place, and, for a small town that we live in, and they're all similar. They have all these events, and it's hard to get to everything. And it's also hard to get to everything and still do your business and still be a husband and still be a father and whatever else it is that you have to or want to do. Yeah. It's hard to do all that stuff. It does make it tough, but it's.
I think the most challenging part, just like you said, is trying to do, like, when I started, like, and it's just my personality. Yeah. Like, my personality is, if I'm going to do something, it's going to be 1,000 miles an hour. I'm going to do it to my best of my ability, and I'm going to go make a splash. Yeah. I'm going to go do something as fast as I can. That's who I am, good, bad, or ugly, I'm going to work my tail off, and I'm just going to go and make a splash right away. And I think that gets us in trouble because as our clients do grow, we still want to treat all our clients like they're number one, but once that number starts growing, still treating them, all of them as number one, it starts getting harder. And like you said, the second you go hire somebody, like I have a CSR, so a customer service representative down in Ellsworth. She takes care of if somebody calls in and needs to make changes to their auto and stuff like that. People will still text me and I'll do it too, but like she's like the main focus for that.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to even like if somebody I know texts me, hey, they want to change a vehicle and stuff like that, because chain of command says that's not my job. I'm supposed to pass it off to her, but I'm just going to do it because I'm just going to do it. Or like, I know when I started doing the birthday cards, we were doing like 15 cards a month, and it was whatever. Yeah. And now it's like we're doing close to 50. So I'm there. I'm writing out the birthday cards. Like I told you the other day, I think I sent a picture of it. I'm like, hey, I got your birthday card ready, and you're like, yeah, my birthday's at the end of the month. Like, what are you doing? Well, I do them December. I do them at the first of the month for the entire month, but it's like that's something I'm like not willing to give up.
Yeah.
And it's hard because you talk about the time vampires, you talk about the time sucks of everything like that, and it's like, yep, but it takes about 2 hours to write out all them cards, get everything taken care of. So
and I used to do it where I sent it to everybody, but now I've gotten where I just send it to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing I love about that is, I'm going to start doing mine monthly, I think, but I do them weekly right now. Every time, and I have a calendar that it pops up on, I look and I see, okay, so-and-so is, but so each and every time I see that name, now I've thought about that person. I've remembered, if it's Tevin's birthday, I remember the house Trent bought, then you start thinking of the houses we went and looked at, and it just, it reminds me of your family. And so even if like me as an agent isn't like, and you don't know this, but I'm at my computer, I say, oh, I remember, and it's a memory that pops into your head. So you do remember those, and maybe it'll remind you to do something else, or maybe it'll, I don't know. It's just like that maintaining that personal touch. It's hard, and I think as the years go on, it gets harder.
Yeah.
And there's some that, and don't take this the wrong way, but communication is a two-way street too. So like you reach out and try and touch and try and touch and try and touch, and then it doesn't ever come back. So then it's like, okay, do I keep doing this? Do I keep slapping the 55 or 50-cent stamp on there and sending this up? 'Cause I'm not even sure if it gets there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't ever hear nothing back. But
and that's the small part of it too. Is you're putting it out there and you're not sure, and it's hard because we post a lot of stuff on social media.
Yeah.
We do everything in that direction. I just don't want people to think that I'm a fake person and I'm just doing this for sales.
Yeah.
Like, sales are great. Obviously, that's what pays my bills and all of that. But at the end of the day, like, I do a lot of this stuff because I'm just kind of a weird dude that likes doing it. Like, just like you said, like the memories. Like, I love like when I'm writing out the birthday cards and I look at it and I go, oh, yeah, I remember when I went to their house. I wonder if they ended up getting that dog, or I wonder if they did this or that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're the same way. Like, oh, they talked about that they were going to redo the dining room. I wonder if they did that.
Yeah. Yep. No, and like you said, it brings up, like it was just, I just sent a birthday card out. Today's what? Friday. Friday.
Yeah, it's already Friday.
Okay, so Monday I sent a birthday card out to some kids, and this kid was like probably two at the time. He's probably, I don't know, he's probably 7 or 8 now, but it brings up, sometimes this was scary. There was like a basement door that swung in.
Yep.
And I mean, and these people had like 4 or 5 kids, and I could never remember their names. So every time they walked in a house, I would just rattle off 5 names, and the kids would laugh so hard because they weren't even close to what their names were. But they eventually they knew I was just being goofy.
Yeah.
Well, the youngest one he was young. He was, terrible twos, whatever you want to. He wasn't a terrible kid, but he was into everything. Well, he went and he pushed on this basement door, and it swung over the stairs, so the door didn't latch. It opened, and the kid went tumbling down the basement steps. Well, I mean, they were like the old wooden, rough sawn stairs, and it actually went down a few steps, and there was a landing, and then it went down a few more steps. Well, he went down the first few steps and hit the landing and rolled, and I don't know how, but he ended up sitting upright with his feet on the next step. So he missed the next few set of stairs, but he had a couple bumps and bruises on his head and was crying. But just like you said, brings up some. I don't want to say that one was funny. It's funny now that I know everything. Well, I hope he's okay. But there's a lot of memories that are in there. I've been doing this for this is my 11th year. Yeah, so it is cool.
Yeah. So and kind of when we're doing this review and kind of thinking about our direction of what we want to continue to do, because I know that your wife has brought it up to you like, hey, you guys don't talk about your business anymore, and we kind of got really in tune with going and talking to other people.
Yeah.
Like honestly, guys, like our script that we have I don't know, we have like 6 things on there. Like most of the time we're shooting from the hip. We go in there, we have a direction that we think that we're going to go. Sometimes we stay on task. Most of the time we don't.
Well, and the one thing is especially the last 2 weeks with Infinity and Sunshine, when you get people talking about, this is it's not their life. They have families and children and all that stuff. But this is a big part of their life.
Yeah.
And it's something they built. So they are extremely passionate about it. They are extremely proud of it. And when you get them going, like last week, we kind of had to hey, that's enough of us. And not mean, but and she warned us. She said, "You're going to have to kick me to stop me." Because, and I walked away from both of those going, we just scratched the surface of what we could have talked about today,
And I know that, I've had feedback from different people. I shout out to Brock Moles. He said that he's like, make the videos hour long. And, I think it would be very easy for us to do that because, our talks are crazy long sometimes because what people don't see is the hour before we interview somebody, we're talking, we're trying to figure out what we can talk about, what we can't talk about, but then we also kind of bring it into, we bring it in full circle of when we start talking, they say something and it sticks in our heads of I want to ask them a question about that because I really do want to know how this started, how this happened, all that stuff. So that's
the conversations prior and after. I almost wish those were part of the video too. Because they, the first question and we won't say the answer to this because we've heard it twice now. We ask them, okay, they don't care what we talk about, but tell us what we don't want to talk about. What's outside the lines. And then afterwards, as we kind of, and maybe we're doing a summary after, not if the video's over, but we're talking after we're done with the video. Those conversations are interesting too. And I always thought, especially both weeks, that would have been interesting to have on the video as well. So so Brock's right. We could go on for a long time.
A long time, which we're willing to do that. That's where your guys' feedback really will help us. Obviously we're posting this on our Facebook pages. We're posting this on our YouTube channel. Hopefully that's what you're watching. Hopefully you're subscribing to it. But at the end of the day, if you guys keep giving us feedback, we're going to keep hammering out different content for you guys to do.
And we're not opposed to driving somewhere or we don't necessarily have to upload videos every Friday. We could do. If there's a time crunch where we have to do 2 1 week or whatever.
Yeah, because we'll
do what we can to make it work.
Yeah, the last 2 videos we actually shot earlier in the week, and then
deer hunting.
Yeah, deer hunting's a big part of it. Still kind of recovering from that, but we're getting better. We're getting closer. But yeah, we obviously know the holidays are coming up, so just being able to talk to different different businesses, different industries, and like for me, I'd love to see some of the, quote unquote white collar businesses reach out to us and like want to do some stuff. So like talking to lawyers, talking to doctors, talking to accountants, stuff in that nature. And it'd be interesting to go talk to like construction workers too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think there's anything that's I'm not I'm willing to do anything.
Yeah,
So,
I honestly, most businesses, I have questions, and that's just me being curious and not being very, especially with construction workers, like not knowing anything, like not very being technical with my hands and that stuff. So, being able to, go and actually see what their business does and how they do it
Yeah.
is interesting to me. But at the end of the day, all our feedback, we've had people reach out to us and want to do this, and we are going to make sure that they get their chance to talk and we get to hear their stories, because at the end of the day, everybody has a story within their business, and I think that's what we're trying to get out, is try to figure out everybody's story, but then within their story, figuring out their why they did this.
And human nature. We can learn so much from just I don't know the right word for that. Conversations with others. There's so much to be learned from each other that people see things. Three people can look at the same thing and come out with might be the same general direction, but just a little different take that some person's eye didn't see, and that's fascinating to me.
Yeah. But I think, we're at 22 minutes already. This happens about every time. We have no idea. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 things that we wanted to talk about. We think at the beginning of every of these that it's going to take us 10 minutes. We're going to be rambling. We're not going to have a clue what we're doing. But at the end of the day, we just put out a 22-minute video on 5 topics that we had no idea that it was going to take 22 minutes to talk about. So I think that's the cool part, that we start talking, or even when we do our review video at the beginning, we're like, all right, well, we're gonna talk, and then we're gonna go find a video of something they have on their Facebook page, drone shots, anything cool like that, where during that time we're gonna talk again. So what I think our best value is with topics, we're just going to keep talking about them. And at the end of the day, hopefully people start seeing the different aspects of different businesses, and we're going to start asking questions that everybody, I think, in the community wants to know about things. So,
and feedback would be awesome if some, drop us a comment, whether it's on Facebook or right on YouTube. Absolutely, you can share our videos if you want, but the feedback is something we're looking for. Subscribe. That's my phone that I didn't put on silent. So maybe that's the time that we should end the video. And thank you guys for listening. I'm Tadd with LakePlace.com.
Trent Nyhus, Farmers Insurance, Nyhus Agency. This is Shoptalk with TNT. Thanks again, guys.